we're going to get to the news. The Senate unanimously passed a bill last night ordering the Justice Department to release the Epstein files and sent the legislation to President Trump's desk. We'll see what happens, but I find it hard to believe that the guy who signed this is going to sign that. It's like, well, this is a real full circle moment. President Trump held a black-tie dinner last night in honor of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And the menu included honey nut squash soup with cranberry relish, spiced hazelnuts, broccoli rabe, and I'm guessing one grilled cheese. At the same dinner, President Trump said he has more than 3.25 years left in office and added, quote, "For the Trump, that's like an eternity." Oh, buddy, not just for the Trump. That's an eternity for the Myers, too. I would rather spend 3.25 years stuck in an elevator with a ventriloquist and 2 of my exes. President Trump claimed yesterday that some state governments are trying to embed DEI ideology into AI models to produce, woke AI, and added, quote, "Remember Black George Washington?" What? Oh, wait, does he think AI wrote Hamilton? While speaking today at the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum, President Trump acknowledged his daughter Tiffany and complained that her Georgetown University graduation got canceled due to COVID. Yeah, I'm sure you were real upset to miss that one. I wouldn't be surprised if you released the Wuhan bat yourself. Wuhan bat, we hardly ever talk about the old Wuhan bat anymore. Hello, old friend. While speaking on Monday at the McDonald's Impact Summit of franchise owners and suppliers, President Trump bragged that he got Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to eat a Big Mac. All he had to do was run it over with his car first. A New Jersey zoo recently opened a new medical treatment room with large windows so that visitors can observe veterinarians treating exotic animals. Great. Now he's even less likely to get his prostate checked. Dunkin' recently released a new children's book to benefit the Dunkin' Joy and Childhood Foundation that follows one tiny Munchkin donut hole treat on a journey of belonging and joy, all the way from its birth in a bakery to its death in a gas station toilet. This little guy. I should have said spoiler alert. The head of the Louvre Museum announced yesterday they will install 100 new surveillance cameras and have them running by the end of the year, and I'm being told someone just stole the cameras. An Idaho man recently broke the Guinness World Record for most bowling balls carried on a unicycle, as well as the record for most shattered pelvis. Poor Yorma. Yorma had it for... And finally, Taco Bell is set this week to launch its new fan-style menu, which features 3 new menu items that were selected by customers. The items are Pepto-Bismol, Imodium A&E, and Tums. And that was a monologue, everybody. We got a great show for you tonight. He's a fantastic actor, you know, from Bridgerton, Fellow Travelers, and Jurassic World Rebirth. Currently, he's starring in Wicked for Good, which will be in theaters at IMAX on November 21st. One of our favorites, Jonathan Bailey, is back on the show, you guys. She's an Oscar-winning actress, you know, from The Last Man on Earth, as well as films like Elf, Step Brothers, and Parenthood. She stars in A Man on the Inside, which kicks off its 2nd season November 20th on Netflix. Our friend Mary Steenburgen is also joining us. Before we get to all that, Donald Trump lost his months-long battle to stop the release of the Epstein files on Tuesday when Congress passed a bill forcing the Justice Department to make them public. So now Trump is doing a 180. He says he'll sign the bill that forces him to release the files he could have released on his own, but wouldn't, thus requiring a bill to force him to do the thing he didn't want to do, which he will now be forced to do because of the bill he was against that he will now sign. It makes sense to me, and for more on this, it's time for a closer look. You guys, Donald Trump wants you to know he's not mad at all about this Epstein bill passing. He's actually very cool with it.
House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. Now, farther down, he adds, and the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care.
I'm going to say it. You sound like you care. If you don't care, then you just say, I don't care. You don't say it in all caps in a super long rage post. Also, nobody wants a president who doesn't care. After Pearl Harbor, FDR didn't say, a date that will live in infamy. For you, maybe. For me, it was just a regular Sunday. No skin off my nose. Didn't do a lot of work on my FDR impression. Earlier today, I was like, you should listen to him at least once, but I forgot. Anyway, the point is, Trump wants to make it crystal clear he is in favor of signing this bill.
I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. All I want is for people to recognize a great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower.
Oh, are they? Because the other day I went to the grocery store to buy some beef, some coffee, and some bananas, and the total came out to 6 gold bars. And yes, I was buying beef, bananas, and coffee because my wife is out of town, and I don't know what my kids eat. Who wants banana burger lattes? No one? Great. Then I guess we'll all go hungry. The funny thing is, I could understand Trump being frustrated about the focus on Epstein if prices were going down, but they're not going down. He's basically saying, don't focus on this thing, focus on this other thing. Saying I don't want Epstein to detract from prices, like a lawyer saying, ladies and gentlemen, the jury, my client would never embezzle company funds. Just ask his wife, if you can find her. She's been missing for weeks, and he was the last one to see her. Trump can't seem to get his story straight on prices. Today, he made the claim that he was making America affordable again before immediately shifting to how Democrats made up the word affordability.
We're also making incredible strides to make America affordable again. That's a new word that they're using. Affordability, they talk. They had the worst inflation in history. They had the highest prices in history. The country was going to hell. The only thing that we're going up in is our stock market, okay? The only price that we really have, I mean, we're bringing prices down, but they came up with a new word, affordability.
He says affordability like he's Tiny Tim complaining about the price of a Christmas goose. Please, Mr. Scrooge, can you do anything about the affordability? But we'll cut him some slack. This week's been hard on the president, so hard that the press is asking him if he's feeling okay.
Your voice sounds a little rough. Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with trade in a country, and I straightened it out. But I blew my stack at these people.
So you have a hoarse voice because you blew your stack screaming at stupid people. Again, not what we're looking for in a president. It would have been a lot less powerful if Abraham Lincoln had said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. In the same way I cannot stand you stupid morons. Again, no work on my Lincoln. Hey, listen here. It's Abraham Lincoln, I tell ya. I've had it up to here with all of ya. So Trump's voice is in rough shape, but at least his hearing is great.
Well, it sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about Venezuela? You suggested...
Is there what?
It sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about Venezuela?
I thought you said there was a polyp, and I said,
No, that's a whole different thing.
I don't want to hear that.
Why would he say there's a polyp? I know you don't like probing questions, but this isn't literally a colonoscopy. Did you forget where you were and think the reporters asking you questions were doctors? Does the reverse happen when you go in for a physical? Do you think the doctor is a journalist? So, how's your diet been lately? Excuse me, that's a very nasty question and you're fake news. And I'll have you know I've been eating lots of banana burger lattes. Maybe Trump was just screaming about how innocent he is. After all, as Trump explained, he barely spent any time with Jeffrey Epstein.
I believe that many of the people some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, but they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all.
Yeah, Trump wasn't with Epstein at all, besides that time Trump invited Epstein to his wedding, or when he partied with him at Mar-a-Lago, or when they posed for pictures together, or when Trump's name appeared in Epstein's flight logs, or when Trump called him a terrific guy, or when Epstein called Trump his closest friend for 10 years, which, by the way, is incredible. Trump doesn't stay friends with anyone for 10 years. I mean, just think of all the people he's had a falling out with. Marjorie Taylor Greene dressed up like a tour guide at the Trump Museum, and even they didn't make it 10 years. But Donnie and Jeff, baby, they were built to last. Everyone has seen the pictures of Trump with Epstein, especially if you happen to live near a castle in the UK.
Protesters here overnight projecting a photo of President Trump alongside convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein on the walls of Windsor.
And here's my question. Where do you get a projector that big? Is there a section at Best Buy called castle-sized projectors for embarrassing presidents? Of course, in England, it's not called Best Buy, it's called Superior Purchase. Snobs! But hey, those are just photos. Now we have Epstein's emails, and I would have to imagine that if they weren't that close, Trump's name barely comes up at all.
The good folks at Courier Newsroom have compiled all of the more than 23,000 Epstein emails into a searchable database. And the one name that appears more than any other in all of those emails is Donald Trump's. The Wall Street Journal has even created a handy visualization guide to show just how much each figure is mentioned over time in these emails. The blue dots here represent each of the Epstein emails that mention former President Clinton. These ones represent each time the emails mention former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. And these ones represent all the mentions of Donald Trump. Far more, by a lot.
Yeah, I also wish it looked less like sperm. I do. Same page? Yeah, we're all on the same page. Also, I'm not even mentioned that much in my own emails. Mostly because people here at NBC can't remember my name. It's obvious why Trump fought so hard to stop this bill from passing. He called Republicans who supported it stupid, called the files a hoax made up by Democrats. His team held an emergency meeting in the White House Situation Room to sway Republicans to vote against it. And he called Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor. But Greene got the last word before the bill passed on Tuesday.
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves.
Okay, but in fairness, she didn't say Trump's name. She could have been talking about anybody. I mean, maybe she was referring to a different president who does deals with foreign governments and had a secret Chinese bank account and got a crown from South Korea and a plane from Qatar and a gold bar from Switzerland, touched a mysterious glowing orb in Saudi Arabia. That orb may have given Trump mystical powers, but like all magic spells, it's now clearly taking its toll. The weird ailments, the bad hearing, losing its voice. The orb giveth and the orb taketh away. But come on, seriously, who would make anyone think Trump serves foreign countries?
This morning, President Trump welcoming Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to Washington. Saudi flags draping Pennsylvania Avenue. The president welcoming the Crown Prince with a lavish ceremony on the South Lawn.
President Trump is hosting a lavish dinner for the Saudi Crown Prince.
I just want to say it's an honor to be your friend. And I asked the Crown Prince, so outside of Trump, because I blow everyone away, who was the best president for Saudi Arabia?
We've worked with all presidents.
Does Trump blow them all away?
No, it's another league, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
And Trump doesn't give a fist pump. I grabbed that hand. I don't give a hell where that hand's been. I grabbed that hand.
Wow, now we know what it looks like when Trump's not blowing his stack. He's giddy. That's so unsettling to see. It's like when you're a kid and you see your dad drunk for the first time. Is he singing Life is a Highway? Trump's whole vibe in this meeting is a reminder not to trust him when he tells you he cut ties with Epstein after learning the truth about him. That's Mohammed bin Salman. Jeffrey was my best friend, but he crossed the line and I cut him off. But luckily, I met a new best friend. You know him as MBS. I call him Bonesaw. Trump spent months desperately trying to stop this bill and lost. After election losses and dismal poll numbers, his power is waning. And even MAGA is splitting from him, and he can't change the subject to prices because no one believes he's sincere when he talks about
affordability.
This has been A Closer Look.